Hey folks, welcome back to my Kitten Reads. I'm Eleanor and this is a try chapter video. This is just the pre-video because I didn't have time to do the whole thing on the weekend. I got a bit lazy and then a bit busy, and this is the thing that just didn't happen. The thing is, I'm struggling a bit for video ideas at the moment, so if you've got suggestions, let me know. But particularly because I'm fairly sure my last Our Crate box is still somewhere in the ether, somewhere in the COVID postal delays. I think pretty much everything coming from America is in COVID postal delays, because I've got other things as well that haven't turned up. So what I thought I would do is I have picked the first 5 books from my to be read shelf that were from subscription boxes, because of course, as usual, the one goal that I have this year that I'm really not doing well at all, is to read my subscription box books. So I grabbed the first 5 that were on the shelf. They were all actually on the first shelf, so they all have authors that are fairly early in the alphabet. And the plan is over the next week is to read the first chapter, 10-page chapter or 2. So depending on how long those chapters are. I mean, if it's only 2 pages, I might read a couple of chapters. But essentially, read the first chapter and see if it's a book that I want to keep on my to be read shelf, and continue with at some stage, or whether it's going to be added to the pile of books that is one day going to be donated. That pile is getting a little large now, because I'm starting to actually, well, when I say large, not huge, but yeah, I really need to actually figure out where I'm going to donate these books. So there are 5 books on this pile. What are they? So we start with White Cat by Holly Black. This came in a Never Never book box. I've heard of it. It's quite a famous book, I think, like in fantasy circles. Anyway, but it says, Cassell comes from a family of curse workers, people who have the power to change your emotions, your memories, your luck by the slightest touch of their hands. Since curse work is illegal, they're all criminals, but not Cassell. He hasn't got the magic touch, so he's an outsider. Straight kid in a crooked family. As long as you ignore one small detail. He killed his best friend Lila. Now he is sleepwalking, propelled into the night by terrifying dreams about a white cat. He also notices that his brothers are keeping secrets from him. As Cassell begins to suspect he is part of a huge con game, he must unravel his past and his memories. To find out the truth, Cassell will have to out-con the conmen. So, that is White Cat. Like I said, I don't know much about it. The one Holly Black book I have tried to read, which is the more recent Cursed Prince, I didn't finish. But, we'll see how it goes. This is not I don't think it's a very long book. So, we'll see how the first chapter of that goes. Then the next one was also a Never Never book box. Turns out, I think at least three of the 5 books I've picked are Never Never book box picks. So I'm pretty sure this came out of a box. I don't think I bought it myself. So it's Scales of Empire by Kylie Chan, who's an Australian author. I haven't read any Kylie Chan, but I've heard a lot about her. I've seen her at conventions, that kind of stuff. Corporal Jian Shumali is on the mission of a lifetime, security officer on one of Earth's huge generation ships, fleeing the planet's failing ecosystem to colonize a nearby star. The ship encounters a technologically and culturally advanced alien empire led by a royal family of dragons. The Empire's dragon emissary offers her aid to the people of Earth, bringing greater health, longer life, and faster than light travel. But what price will be the people of Earth have to pay for this generous alien assistance? So, so across, I think, between science fiction and fantasy, because dragons, bit space opera-y, Kylie Chan's known for having diverse characters, so we'll see. We'll see how the first chapter of this goes, because like I said, I've never read Kylie Chan, so I've probably never read a lot of these authors. Third book is also from the Never Never book box, and it is by Elizabeth Jane Corbett, and it is The Tides Between. So I believe this is a fantasy novel set around very, very early colonial Australia, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. In 1841, on the eve of her departure from London, Bride's mother demands she forget her dead father and prepare for a sensible adult life in Port Phillip. Desperate to save her childhood, 15-year-old Bridie is determined to smuggle a notebook filled with her father's fairy tales to the far side of the world. When Rhys Bevan, a soft-voiced young storyteller and fellow traveller, realises Bridie is hiding something, a magical friendship is born. But Rhys has his own secrets, and the words written in Bridie's notebook carry a dark double meaning. As they inch towards their destination, Rhys's past returns to haunt him. Bridie grapples with the implications of her dad's final message. The pair take refuge in fairy tales, little expecting the trouble it will cause. So, fairy tales, I like. Fantasy, on the way out to colonial Australia, could be interesting. I do like historical. So, yeah, I'm quite looking forward to seeing what the first chapter of this one is like. And now we come to a book from one of my outcrates, and that is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. I'm kind of assuming it's fantasy, given Salt and Sorrows kind of sounds fantasy. But anyway, the blurb says, Annalee lives a sheltered life at Highmore, a manor by the sea, with her sisters and their father and stepmother. Once there were 12, but lonely... that's right. This is the one that's a retelling of the Dancing Princesses fairy tale. But loneliness fills the grand halls now that 4 of the girls' lives have been cut short. Each death was more tragic than the last. The plague, a plummeting fall, a drowning, a slippery plunge. And there are whispers throughout the surrounding villages that the family is cursed by the gods. Disturbed by a series of ghostly visions, Annalee becomes increasingly suspicious that her sister's deaths were no accidents. The girls have been sneaking out every night to attend glittering balls, dancing until dawn in silk gowns and shimmering slippers, and Annalee isn't sure whether to try to stop them or to join their forbidden trysts. Because who or what are they really dancing with? When Annalee's involvement with a mysterious stranger who has secrets of his own intensifies, it's a race to unravel the darkness that has fallen over her family before it claims her next. I'm actually quite interested in this one, I remember, because it's a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. Intriguing. I'm looking forward to the first chapter of that one. And then this one, which I think is a... actually, it might be... I'm not actually sure if this is a Outcrate book or a Never Never book box. I don't know who Emily Dale is. Anyway, but it's called The Fray. I don't know anything about it. So it says, on psych leave and sweating it on the outcome of an investigation, Army Captain Fallon Lords has returned from her latest overseas tour with just more than just a case file to her name. Suffering PTSD over what happened to her and her men overseas, with only vague, disturbing memories of the life of the event itself, she finds her life spiraling out of control. Interesting. But that's not her only problem. In the middle of her leave, her sworn protector and a right pain in the backside, Hadwin, wrenches her away from this world to her birth world. A world that Fallon soon finds is filled with magic, monsters and sword fighting, with a tyrannical human queen hell-bent on wiping out Fallon's kind. Interesting. So, portal fantasy maybe? With enemies on all sides, everything that Fallon thought she was is questioned as her old life falls away and her new life slams into her with brutal conviction. Don't like the sound of that. She was destined to be a queen, but is she willing to accept that role? Will she survive the rebellion that she has brought back to lead? Will the rebellion survive her? sounds kind of dark, which might not be my thing, but again, I'll read the first chapter and see what I think. So, got no idea really what to expect any of those. I'll spend this week, I think, reading the first chapters. That's not all I will be reading this week. I have university work to do, which requires reading graphic novels. But I will update you next weekend, hopefully, as to whether I'm going to keep those books or donate them. Bye.